Hey everyone, welcome to part 1F of the Mech tutorial. This time we're going to be talking about, we're going to start with y-axis servos for our limbs. We're going to add roll to our torso, and we'll see how it goes from there. I'm going to start with those two things for now. So, alright, so concerning our y-axis servos, we're going to need, first of all, some new servos. Press Ctrl T, it'll enable our indicators so we can tell which one is, y-axis. I'm gonna make these blue, that's the color I've been using for this so far. Normally, I know for our other servos we've kept limits enabled on. This time we're gonna need it off just for the moment. This will just be so we can test, if it moves and, how stably it moves and all that stuff. So we're going to need to make a new combined servo. I know that, on some of our other joints, we've had servos that were, combined. This lets them move into axes at once. We're going to use the same technique here. So we're going to need to move our upper leg over a little bit so we can make some room for that. And then we're going to be putting the bottom servo on our leg. The top servo goes with the other, x-axis servo that's loading over there. And make this about this is probably big enough. 28 by 28 here. Width, I don't know, but I'll just address that later. This long, I guess. Oh, this is cute. That's perfect, anyways. And then for this, we're gonna just put it inside of here and offset it slightly. This is both to avoid the compression limit and make it easier to select. We need just the y-axis servo instead of this combination we got going on here. Once we have this, we're gonna need also make sure it's 10 density. We just got these out of the part tool, so they're gonna be 1 probably. So we need this to be 10 so they're strong enough. We're gonna get some head meshes and put them in this combination we got going on here. This will make sure they're, strong. Head meshes give mass to servos. They help them move, more defined, more, intentionally. So that's what those are for. Oh, I forgot to make them big. Sorry. Also, head meshes in particular are recommended for this because they can extend past their hitbox, or their hitbox can extend past them, rather. If you look at, it shows it pretty clearly on the mirror mode one over there. It's got this giant red box, even though the actual head mesh is only, it's smaller than our servos even. So, we're gonna make a little circle of these. This will ensure we have enough of them. This should be fine. I'll make sure these are 10 density as well, because I believe we just copied them. And looks like all of ours have been, I believe, let me check. Yes, all of ours have been lavender so far, so I'll keep the tradition going here. These are going to be lavender. If I can find lavender. Where is lavender? There it is, 32. So these will all be, that looks like, never mind, just, no, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, but, no, these new ones are just gonna stay gray. Alright, if I do this, I can make them lavender, and that's fine, I'll just do that. Anyways, I'm gonna save here, should have all the things we need. After that, I'll test and see if it works. And right now they should be on limits enabled off so that we can see if it moves in the right axis or not, and we can also gauge, how well it connects to the torso and stuff. Just a few things we need to know about our joints. So it moves in the right axis, it's connects in about the same spot, moves pretty stably. I think we're good for these legs. I'm just gonna reload it, enable limits, and do the same thing to the arms. Let me get back to my garage here. Alright, so I'm gonna enable limits on these particular ones, and then we're gonna save it and start copying over to the arms. They'll use pretty much the same mechanism here. So, yeah, that's nice. I'll copy these, move them over. Don't know how much exactly, but I'll resize them so they fit better. Alright, so we're gonna need another combined servo again. So I'll make that here with these two. Got like, I believe this is the top for the y-axis, and then that should be bottom of the z-axis. Got the wrong one, sorry. We're gonna, again, get these like as close as possible to compressed, but with a little bit of an offset so that we can, you know, select them differently and stuff. Also, this will help us avoid the actual compression limits. So I'm gonna make it the same size, and I'm just gonna move it to the side by like, my increment's 0.25, so I'll do 0.25 to the left here. Mirror. And then, just like with the upper legs, we're gonna need to move the upper arms to the side and give it like, you know, the y-axis bottom. For this, we'll need it to connect a bit differently just because of how we built it. I may or may not have recorded the entire, you know, tried to record the entire part and gotten to the end and forgotten to record, so I lost all my, yeah, I just wasted like 30 minutes earlier. So one thing I found out was that we should make it like this, it'll connect better this way. Like basically just, instead of putting it in the leg for this one, we need it to be on the side like this. But yeah, we can actually just change this, you know, even more if we want to when we get to making a full mech out of this, or when you do that or whatever. That's, you know, something to keep in mind. Just gonna make this the same size again just because this is that big. So, okay, gonna add some head meshes again, then we should be ready to test pretty soon here. And just make sure these are the right size. And we also gotta keep in mind that we've got some other head mesh assemblies pretty close by here, and we don't want them to connect, otherwise it's gonna, you know, not work. So let me just rotate these some, if it will let me. Bro, mouse keeps unholding. Can't click and hold on this blue dot. There we go. Alright, that's looking pretty nice. Gonna make sure, I'm gonna just move this inwards a little bit. Right now it's, I believe it does weld to this. Yeah, that's gonna cause a weld. If we use it like it is, then basically our elbow is gonna be floating and stationary. It won't be able to rotate any, so I'm gonna move this over to the side a little bit. This should now be out of everything else's weld zone. We won't, you know, well, out of everything else's hitbox. Better way to put it, probably. This doesn't weld anything now, so we're good to go ahead and test. I'm gonna put this one on limits enabled off just to, again, test if it rotates in the right direction and all those things, but I'm gonna save it here. Should all be 10 density as well, I forgot to ensure that, but we copied it from here, I believe, so I think we should be fine. Either way, I'm gonna test it. Worst thing that happens, it doesn't work, we can fix it, but, you know. If we're lucky, it should work. Let me get in the seat here. So, okay, yeah, they move in the y-axis now. That's what we want to have happen. They move pretty stably, it seems. Doesn't mess with any of our other, I mean, they're all limits enabled off anyway, but yeah, I think we should be fine to move on from here. One more thing, I'll probably, I don't know if I'm going to do this in this particular video or not, but I might give the head some other axes of movement as well. That one only has Y right now. But, you know, maybe I'll give it some other ones later. I don't know. I think we've already had enough, well, I need to add one more servo in this video, but like, you know, that's enough servos for one video, right? Like, I might do the head in part 2 if we ever get to that, but like, for now I'm just going to focus on the other major topic of this video, which is going to be our, we're going to give our torso servos roles. So right now they have, you know, there's yaw and pitch over here, but then I think giving our torsos roll would be pretty handy for certain animations, even if we don't. This isn't one we're gonna like use right now while we're moving, like we, you know, same with these blue ones over here, the y-axis ones for our limbs. I don't think we're gonna actively, like, you know, like these ones we're probably not going to use as much, but there's still cases where they'd be useful to have, so I think it's okay to add them, useful to add them. Also, it's just nice to be able to move in every direction, so that's an added bonus. Alright, so for this, we're going to need to make another combined servo. I'm going to move these out by a lot so that they can, you know, have room to be compressed in and have aim parts and, or head meshes and all that stuff. So, I know these ones are kind of, the other ones are all color-coded and fancy. These ones are just kind of, you know, white glass, trying to be as invisible as possible with these ones, but yeah, this is our pitch servo. We're gonna make a combination with pitch and roll here. Kind of like the first one, but just another level of it, if you will. So we're going to need some new servo parts here. Once we have these, we're going to use Ctrl T to make sure they're rotating along the roll axis. That's going to, basically the hinges will face forward. It's the same as the, for our mech it's equal to the x-axis servos. Those are the green ones. I think they're all combined right now, but yeah, green ones. So I'm gonna start by putting the making sure the right servo, you know, goes into the combination here. I'm gonna want the bottom servo in with the pitch servo because this will, I don't really know why exactly we did it that way on the other one, so you know, it is probably silly of a reason that is. That's what I'm going with here. I'm not honestly knowledgeable enough to just, you know, say this for sure, but it probably helps. I've done it like that before, so I'm gonna keep doing it like that. It works before, so should work again. Anyways, we're gonna need to add some of these to the torso here. So these were all 30.5 earlier. I'm gonna give them the same size. Let me find the other one here. Oh, and also we're gonna need these to be the same material and color and stuff. So it's gonna be 80 transparency glass. I think it makes a difference on glass, but 100 reflectance is what we went with here. Maybe it might, I don't know. Could just be because we're so transparent, but anyways, we're gonna be adding a servo here, and again, we're gonna go with that slight offset technique so it doesn't so that the compression limit doesn't get triggered and we can select them easier. Now that we've got them in about the right position here, I'm gonna move these up a little bit because they're gonna get in the way of our vector thrusters. That might cause a compression and trigger, you know. I don't think that would actually, but I'm just gonna move them up anyways, just to be safe. Anyways, we only have one roll servo now though, and we need gonna enable limits on these as well because we don't want to be moving around with these right now. Well, okay. Before we do that, I'm just gonna save here and test and see if it does roll properly. And then once we have that confirmed, we can enable limits and compress them so they have more strength. Even with one of them though right now, it should actually roll pretty, you know, distinctively. It'll just be like we add more to gain control, not, you know, increase our range of motion, generally speaking, I guess. So, okay, yeah, so we can roll. It's tilting and doing things in the roll axis, so that's good. That's a start. I'm gonna go back and add some more, we're gonna compress them and turn off their limits, probably in reverse order because it's gonna be easier to edit them if we enable limits first. It'll apply to all the ones you can press. Alright, so we should have 4 of these now. I'm gonna save this and give it another try. And there's a few things that I was kind of, you know, I didn't really know if I was going to put them in part 1 or part 2, but I think this is enough for now. Like, assuming this works, we should be pretty well set up for part 2 now. Let me just give it one more test here. I think it should work, hopefully. A little bit unstable, but I think it does work overall. We can still spin and flip. Oh, I forgot to put my head meshes, that's why. Okay, yeah. Alright, let me reload this and we can add some head meshes and it should work even better, hopefully. Yeah, because this does not have head meshes, so... Alright, let me add some head meshes and then we'll test again. Probably need to move the head back here as well, because it's kind of like... That's pretty risky, it's likely to weld if we, you know, keep it there, like to the head mesh, so... Move it back a little bit and we can try it. Let me make sure this is the right size here. And right placements and all that goes on with head meshes. Alright, max length here, and we're gonna make a little circle of them. Alright, the head can actually stay in the same spot, I think. It doesn't weld, so I'm going to save this and see if we can test it again. Hopefully we're going to be more stable this time. Also, our part count is at 504 right now. I believe that's what I was at last time when I forgot to record, so should be retracing our steps pretty closely here. Let me test this, and Lord willing it works. Get on the seat here. Okay, so might be a little bit difficult to see from the gameplay here, but yeah, we're more stable now. Adding roll does actually kind of make our, you know, control spins and whatnot a little bit slower, I've noticed, but I don't really think that's that big of a deal. I'm fine with it. I might address that like in part 2 or something if we really do need to be faster, but for now I think it's okay. And it's also kind of, yeah, adding a third axis is like, I think it's fine. It's just like, you know, a few things that we need to iron out with it, but I think it works overall. Like, we can still front flip and stuff pretty decently. Do all the other things that we have for our torso servos. G still works. I think that's just some of the, you know, trade-offs that come with having all 3 directions, but, you know, I think it's worth it. I'll probably keep it. One more thing I will try is I'm just going to go for like the next level of speed here, so I'll be like, these are all multiples of 360, so let me see, that'll be like, next one's going to be 1880 at, no, these are all twice each other though, so it'll be like, we need 1440 at, whatever twice that would be, 2880. That's getting us in treacherous territory. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'll give it a try. And this one we're going to upgrade to 720 at 1440. I'm not saying that very well, but whatever. 1440 over here. We'll see if they can actually handle that speed. I'm just going to say that's unlikely, but, you know, I'll give it a try. If it works, then, you know, that's pretty epic. Yeah, no, if they can't, that's all good. I'm just gonna go back to what it was before then. That's okay. me just refigure these. Should be 720% 1440 speed clock, and then 360% of a 720 speed clock right here. And then, okay, I think that's, yeah, that's probably about all I have planned for this. I think that should be the end of part 1 of the tutorial. We're there, we made it. Thank you guys for sticking with me and watching, and hope this was helpful. Try to get part 2 out. I just kind of started recording that a little while ago. That's what that other tut save was, if you're wondering what that was. Anyways, though, yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Adios.